Welcome to the next part of Magic Tree House, a Merlin mission. Seasons of the Sandstorms, Chapter 5 Bandits. Jack looked around wildly. Dark figures on horses were galloping across the sand toward them. They were yelling and shouting. "Oh no!" cried Jack. "What should we do?" "We will fight them off," said Mammon. "You and Annie take this box and ride to the dunes." Mammon pulled a flat wooden box out of one his saddlebags. He thrust the box into Jack's hands. "Hurry, ride fast as you can. Protect it with your lives." Jack frantically tried to stuff the box into his shoulder bag, but Mammon slapped the bag of Jack's camel, and she bolted forward. The rein slipped from Jack's hands. He grabbed the saddle horn with one hand and clutched the wooden box to his chest with the other. He held on for his life as Beauty galloped across the dark desert. Annie's camel ran beside Jack's, like two race horses. Beauty and Cutie thundered across the sand towards the distant dunes, rocking crazily from side to side. Jack clung to the box. "Slow down!" he yelled. "Please!" It was no use. Beauty ran like the wind. She and her sister practically flew over the desert under the starry sky. Jack wanted the camels to stop, but at the same time he wanted to get far away from the bandits. Finally, camels began to slow their pace. Jack looked back. He couldn't see the caravan at all, and no one seemed to be following them. When two camels reached the dunes, they began plodding around the steepy hills. Once they nestled safely between tall and drifts, they stopped to rest. Beauty grinned. Cutie snorted. Thanks, girls," said Annie, panting. "I hope Mammon and others are safe from the bandits," said Jack. "Me too," said Annie. "What's in the box he gave us?" Jack held up the flat wooden box. "I don't know," he said. "Mammon said we should protect it with our lives." "Maybe it's precious spice," said Annie. "I hope it is more than that," said Jack. "I would hate to risk my life for a cinnamon or pepper." "Should we look?" said Annie. "I don't know," said Jack. "Mammon might not want us to." "But don't you think we could protect it better if we knew what it was?" said Annie. "Maybe," said Jack. He could see Annie's point. "Okay." Jack tried to open the lid of the box, but he couldn't in the dark. His finger pressed against the keyhole. "Forget it," he said. "It's locked." "Shh! Listen," said Annie. Jack listened. He heard a high-pitched moaning sound. It sounded like a music from a violin wafting through the dry sand dunes. The haunting music grew louder. "What is that?" said Jack. "Ugh," said Annie. "Now I hear something else." Jack held his breath. He heard hooves galloping over the desert. "The bandits," he said. "We have to hide this box," said Annie. "Where?" said Jack. "In the sand," said Annie. She clucked her tongue, and Cutie knelt down to the ground. Beauty knelt too. Jack and Annie jumped off their saddle cushions and started digging in the sand. The sound of hoofbeats grew louder and louder. Jack and Annie dug frantically. They threw sand behind them like puppies digging in the dirt. That's deep enough, said Jack. He placed the box in the hole they had dug. Then he pushes the piles of sand back on top of it. When they stood up, Annie gasped, "Look, a dark figure on a camel is silhouetted against that starlit dark." The rider was winding in his way through the dunes towards them. Jack's heart nearly pounded out of his chest. "Should we use a magic rhyme?" Annie asked. "We don't have time," said Jack. The rider drew closer until he stopped in the front of Jack and Annie. "You are safe, no?" he said. "Mamoon," said Annie. Relief flooded through Jack. He laughed. "Yes, we are safe," he said. "And you are safe too." "My men fought well," said Mamoon. "The thieves fled with only a few bags of pepper and painted beads. "And we kept your box safe too," said Annie proudly. She knelt and dug the sand until she uncovered the wooden box. She handed it to the Mammon. "Ah, very good," the caravan leader said. "What's in the box?" asked Annie. "A priceless treasure," said Mammon. "I have brought it all the way from Greece, and I am taking it to Baghdad. Thank you both for guarding it with your lives. You are very special." "Sure, no problem," said Jack. He still wondered what was in the box. Gold, silver, precious jewels? But Mammon did not say. He put the box back into his camel saddle bag. "Let us be on our way now," he said. Jack climbed on the kneeling camel. He clucked his tongue. He was surprised and pleased with Beauty rose up on her tall legs. "We will catch up with others in Baghdad," said Mamun. "If all goes well, we will arrive in the city in the afternoon. We must head east toward the morning sun." Mamun rode out of the dunes. Jack and Annie followed him as their camels rocked through the chilly dawn. Daylight shimmered over the sand. "Mamun, last night we heard strange sounds in the dunes," said Annie, "like music playing." "Ah, yes," said Mamun, "the whistling sands." "What are whistling sands?" asked Jack. "Some say it's magic," said Mamun, "but I believe that all things in the nature have reasons. That is why I like the study of science. Science says we must observe our world. We must make experiments and try to find out why things happen. We have learned the whistling is made by sand settling in the drifts." "Oh," said Annie, "I would hope it was a magic." "Learning the reasons things is a magic," said Mamun. "True knowledge brings light to the world, and that is the magical thing. No?" "Yes," said Jack, and he nodded thoughtfully. "I guess when you put it that way," she said. Swaying from side to side on their camels, the three riders traveled down toward the dawn. As the sun rose higher in the sky, the desert grew blazing hot. A dry wind whipped through the air, making snaky patterns in the sand. Mamun halted his camel. He looked around and frowned. "What's wrong?" said Jack. "Are there signs of bandits?" Mamun shook his head. "No, it is the desert itself that worries me now," he said. It is restless, he chuckled his tongue, and Camel began walking again. As they rode over the restless desert, the wind picked up to loose sand and tossed it into the air. Jack and Annie lowered their heads to keep the sand from blowing into their eyes. Their head clothes flapped in the wind. More and more sand started blowing. The desert seemed alive as the sand shifted and swirled. Mahmoud stopped again and looked about. The snaky patterns in the sand were blowing into round, curly patterns. Jack heard a weird moan. Is that the whistling sands again? He asked hopefully. No, said Mamoon. That is the cry of terrible sandstorm, and it will be soon upon us. To find out what happened next, wait for the next part. Till then, bye bye.